When a car disappears from a quiet American street, you probably think of it as a local crime, right? A joyride, maybe sold for parts. But what if that's just the very first step in a hidden multi-billion-dollar global supply chain? All right, let's dive into the secret life of a stolen car. It all starts right here. In the United States, a car gets stolen every 36 seconds. That's a staggering number, and it's the fuel for a massive criminal enterprise. Because here's the thing, they don't just vanish into thin air. Nope, they're funneled into this incredibly sophisticated network that stretches all the way across the globe, a journey most car owners could never, ever imagine. So let's start at the very beginning. That moment the car is actually taken. And I have to tell you, this is not your grandfather's car theft. The whole game has changed completely. I mean, the technological leap is just wild. Forget about crowbars and tow trucks. Today's thieves are basically digital ghosts. They can grab a car's VIN, program a brand new key fob right there on the spot, and shut down any tracking systems in less than a minute. The car is just gone. Not a single broken window. And the stakes here are absolutely enormous. We're talking about over $4 billion worth of stolen cars that are never recovered each year in the US. That's not just some random statistic. It's the financial engine that drives this entire global operation. Okay, so once the car is stolen, it's immediately handed off to a middleman, someone often called a fence. And their job is absolutely crucial. They have to completely erase the car's real history and give it a brand new, legitimate-looking identity. And this is a really methodical process. First, any trackers that are still on the car are physically ripped out. Then, and this is the really clever part, the car's unique vehicle identification number, the VIN, is swapped with one from a legally purchased but totally wrecked car of the exact same model. With that new VIN, they can then forge all the matching paperwork, and just like that, the car is washed clean. Once the car's identity is totally transformed, it gets packed into a shipping container, ready to disappear from the country for good. So the car's next stop is a shipping port. And this is where it really just vanishes, basically swallowed up by the sheer scale of global commerce. See, the criminals are exploiting a huge loophole here. Customs and Border Protection is, for the most part, focused on what's coming into the country, not what's going out. With thousands upon thousands of containers shipping out every single day, trying to inspect every one for a stolen car, well, it's practically impossible. As one law enforcement official put it, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. For every single car they manage to find, they know countless more just slip right through, hidden inside anonymous steel boxes, already on their way to international waters. Now, thousands of miles away, in countries like Ghana, these same cars suddenly reappear. But this isn't just a marketplace. Oh no, this is the command center. This is where we find the real leaders of the entire operation. For a long time, the assumption was that American criminals were running the show and just, selling their stolen goods overseas. But the truth is way more complex, and it completely flips the power dynamic right on its head. So meet the fraud boys. These are tech-savvy criminal entrepreneurs in West Africa, and they aren't just the buyers. They are the architects of the entire system. They're pulling all the strings from thousands of miles away with some startling sophistication. Their operation is just, wow, it's on another level. They buy up stolen financial data on the dark web for pennies on the dollar. Then they use it to rent luxury cars in the US that, of course, are never returned. It's a clean, low-risk kind of theft. They even hack their local port's custom systems to dodge import fees. And the American thieves? Well, they're basically just hired help, contractors in this global scheme. And if you've any doubt about who's really in charge, listen to this. This is a direct quote from one of the operation's leaders. There's no ambiguity. He makes it crystal clear that the American criminals are just cogs in a machine that he controls, and the lion's share of the profit flows right back to him in Ghana. So why does this whole system thrive? Well, it's because on the other side of the world, there is a booming, insatiable, and very, very profitable black market for these stolen cars. The economics of it are simple and incredibly powerful. A buyer in Accra, for example, can get a nearly new luxury car for half its market price, and they pay in cash. For a lot of people, that's an absolutely irresistible deal, and it's what creates the constant demand that fuels this entire supply chain. Ultimately, it's really a perfect storm. Luxury cars are huge status symbols in these rapidly growing economies. The discount is massive. The crime itself is seen as happening somewhere else, so local law enforcement doesn't really prioritize it. And because the whole chain is compartmentalized, the mastermind in Ghana never even has to talk to the thief in America, which keeps the leaders totally insulated and safe. And all of that leaves us with one final, pretty unsettling question. When you have a criminal network that's this global, this profitable, and this technologically advanced, driven by a powerful demand on one side of the world and serious vulnerabilities on the other, what would it actually take to shut it all down?